I apologize in advance. Due to the game having Iron Man only style saves, I cannot go back to other missions and show any details or story fodder that way. So we only have footage from my live stream, sadly. So I do apologize for the stream overlays in advance. Broken Lines is a blend of real-time and turn-based strategy. Imagine if you played XCOM, except instead of one move at a time, you set up a series of moves, the computer sets up its series of moves, and they happen simultaneously over the next 8 seconds. It's fast-paced, it works, and it forces you to think on your feet. It also forces you to anticipate what the enemy's going to do. It sounds like it could go awfully wrong if it was done incorrectly, but it's executed magnifique. Magnifique. How the French word for magnificent. Don't expect me to pronounce stuff right. I'm from Alabama. What do you expect? The game plays incredibly well, with your squad of 4 or 5 soldiers, depending on the mission, often pitted against numerically superior enemies in strategically advantageous positions for you to figure out how to overcome. It's like picking apart a puzzle, but with guns and grenades. It's based in World War II, so it's like 1944, 1945. The basic story is you're supposed to go on a mission and your planes just stop working and crash, resulting in the deaths of the officers who knew what the mission was because they hadn't told you yet. And now you have to figure out if you're actually doing the right mission or if you should just run away or what you should actually be doing. The game is also generous with how it treats bandages and weapons. A single bandage can heal the entire squad if you're willing to take the time to put them all next to each other and use it as an area of effect. And weapons don't have limited ammo, they just have to reload occasionally. Further, just like the original Doom games, there's a system of achievement for time. Not time in the level so much as time spent with the game in motion. That is to say, those 8-second periods where stuff is actually happening is actually what's used for your time score. Also, the number of enemies you kill and all the secrets you find. And you get tangible rewards for this. You get extra scrap for beating the par. So you get rewarded for doing well. The soldiers themselves have personality. And they conflict all the time. Despite having no voice actors, I can tell which soldier is which soldier just by reading the line with their faces covered up. That's how good the writing is. It takes an actual talented writer to make it where the word usage and the word order of an individual indicates who's speaking. And you make decisions about their conflicts. These can result in the soldier getting their morale raised. It can also result in positive and negative opinions of each other, which gives you bonuses or penalties in combat. And if a soldier's morale, or composure as it's called in the game, falls too low, they just leave or die. You as a player get rewarded, furthermore, with scrap that you use for gear, rations to keep the squad going with food. All of these decisions that you make give you rewards or give you penalties. You can also receive the wounded status on a trooper for particular decisions. Example, you make a decision that someone ends up getting hit in the head with a rifle butt, they're going to have the wounded trait, which means that they can't be revived during a mission, they just fall down and die. The squad has men, women, and multiracial parts to it. It doesn't even mention it till a particular scene where you're reminded that this is the 1940s and people are racist against black people. There. That's it. They treat all the other members like they're soldiers and squad. It doesn't SJW. It doesn't social justice warrior this shit. It just puts them there. It treats them like soldiers in that time period. Men, women, black, doesn't matter. And moves on without bringing attention to it till it actually matters with the story. They did it right. If more pieces of media would do this shit, it would work. Why do you think Ripley works so well in Aliens? It's because they don't emphasize the fact she's a woman. She just picks up a rifle and goes, let's do this shit. That's why it works. And they kept to that line and it worked. The weapons are various rifles and submachine guns and shotguns. Each weapon class has its own specific use, and you get an achievement for getting the best weapon in a particular class. I put best in quotation marks here because, like, in my personal opinion, the M1 Garand is an amazing weapon, and the Gruther is too, because they're both semi-automatic rifles and don't require me to cock a bolt, and therefore the actual rate of fire is higher, so the DPS is actually higher, despite the fact that the Mosin and the Kar 98 both have higher actual damage per shot. Rifles are for longer mid-range sniping weapons and actually have the aim ability attached to them. They're particularly good for characters who have medical supplies because they can just sit back and just go bang bang and then run up and heal as needed. SMGs are good at mid and close range with the ability to suppress the enemy, causing them to panic and not actually shoot back or run away. And shotguns are, well, short to point blank killing weapons that are basically make everything you hit very much cadaverific. Let me say that again. Shotguns act like shotguns. They're for short and point blank. They're for storming houses. And anything you hit becomes cadaverific. All of them are satisfying. Like 100%. Even their special abilities are satisfying to use. I do find that you are going to spam suppress on the SMGs just to keep the enemies panicking so they don't shoot back or so they stay in the position they're in because they're panicked, and you can move the shotgun up next to them and go, I'm flanking you, now I'm spanking you with a 12 gauge. And ha! Middle of the video where you were least or probably actually completely expecting me. I'm not even going to act like you weren't. If you're enjoying this video so far, smash the like. Do it. Smash it. Beat it like it owes you money and you're a mafia enforcer. Also, considering subscribing. I do these about once a week after I stream the entire game and go through the whole thing from beginning to end to make sure I know exactly what I'm talking about and to have a bunch of witnesses who can say, I actually played the game. Because I've actually played games before, done full reviews on them, and then being accused of not actually having played the game, despite the fact that there's video footage of the final level right there in the fucking review. Lastly, Patreon. You guys ask for stuff like audiobooks, game reviews, you want me to keep writing, science videos. This stuff costs money. Do you have any idea how much it is for an academic library subscription for the year? Well, it's $105 every year. And if I don't maintain it just once, I have to rejoin and fill out all that paperwork again, and they charge me $500 for rejoining. You see the issue? The channel has no ads. Like, none. Zero. Nada. Finito. This is entirely a user, subscriber supported channel. You guys fund everything. If you want stuff here, it has to be paid for. It's that simple. So either get on Patreon and become a part of the lovely list of the people at the end of the video who are going to be there for the outro music that is a actual custom song made for the audiobook that I now use as my outro. Or come by a stream and drop a tip via Streamlabs. Now, support Fiaura rant done, back to video. Overall, after playing through the game, the story is worth it alone. Like, I was genuinely concerned with all of these characters. And the weapons are balanced perfectly. The characters, again, despite having no voice actors, they deliver an amount of personality that can only be considered dripping off the freaking barbecue and make it where I give a shit who lives and who dies. Except you, Fry! Fuck you, Fry! You're the only character ever named Fry I ever met, saw, or even remotely witnessed in a piece of any form of media. I wanted to die in a fire. So fuck you, Fry. But I digress. In addition to the main weapons, you get a variety of bandages, first aid kits, grenades, even bazookas, which I absolutely loved, by the way. And also accidentally shooting your own character, who moments ago charged a flak 88 like it was a mild inconvenience. And still, you get him back up with a little revive after he gets shot, dusts himself off, and starts charging people with a shotgun again. Priceless. Wood, you are my hero. Always chipper, and would make the members of Blackwatch from Star League of Battletech take notes. You can go through this entire game on hard if you want to. There are a couple of and you can do it. Like, it might take some restarting levels, it might take rerunning levels, but you can do it. You can do this game on hard. It's not like XCOM Legendary where it's just unfair. It does show the percentage chance to hit based on location and distance and cover and everything. Like it shows all that information. Unlike some games, XCOM, you bastard of a game that never shows the enemy's chance to hit. And then I hacked the game code and found out some of them fuckers got more than 100% chance. You assholes. Where was I? Oh, right. There are a couple of missions in which you make decisions in the mission, like leaving a group of enemy medics alone and letting them leave the area, or deciding whether to force a village to leave, or just letting them sit there to their fate, knowing you're going to blow the dam and flood the area with several hundred gallons of water in the next couple hours. Plus, the game is always Iron Man. So, like all Fallout games should be, actions have consequence. You hear me, Todd Howard? Action, consequence. Get it through your fucking head and get Phil off the goddamn writing team. He writes Morrowind and Elder Scrolls. Get a new writer. Get someone who actually knows what they're doing. Hi, I mailed you a book. Where was I? Oh, right. All the consequences of your action are shown at the end of the game with a hint of what they lead to for the actual individual soldiers and how the ending played out without specifically spelling it out for you. It's wonderfully written. It is like the end of a Sherlock Holmes novel where you're just like, that's it? I want part 2. What's part 2? Where do they go from here? Overall, I enjoyed this game from the get-go. I played it more. I'd play it more, but at this point, I've got other games coming up, and we've already seen one ending and made a good chunk of the decisions. But just playing it again to take the alternative paths, I mean, all the maps are not randomly generated. They're hand-done maps. Every single enemy is strategically placed. There's not any... There's no RNG to this. Like, you need to play through this to understand it. I would want to play through it just for the alternative paths, but it's just not 100% my cup of tea right now. But if I had the time, I would jump back in and get the other 5 endings. Yes, 6 endings in a $25 game. 5 that are actually specifically spelled out. And apparently there's a secret ending that is not shown at the end screen that you can get. It's a good game. It's good fun. It's just the right mix of challenging and absolute satisfaction when you shotgun some gas mask wearing ass in the face, or when you blow up his tank with a bazooka and a hand grenade, or charging a flak 88 like a mad Scotsman's wearing a kilt screaming for freedom on D-Day. Broken Lines is just good. I found no bugs. I found no issues. We had no random crashing. The game is beautifully balanced, perfectly balanced, if you want me to quote Thanos. It is as all games should be. Mwah! Beautiful. It's linked in the description. You can go check it out for yourself. I understand if it's not particularly your cup of tea to do a turn-based strategy / real-time strategy game, but for me, for strategy games, for a strategy RPG hybrid, I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Nor can I really come up with one right now off the top of my head. This has been Fiaura. I will see you next time. In the meantime, roll the patron credits and start playing the Do Better song by Skybolt and Forest Rain, made specifically for the audiobook and for me. Good night, everybody.
As fires burn out from yesterday, a wandering mare's found a better way. For just as night seems most dark, the sunrise comes to warm our hearts.